Hey guys, it's Aman
And Christina from
Our Rich Journey.
Today we are going to talk to you about 9 things that we do not buy. And by not buying these things, we save more than $30,000 a year.
So the first thing we don't buy are flights and hotels. And if you watched our first video on this channel, you'll know that we're able to do that by travel hacking.
Let's show you exactly how we've saved money with travel hacking over the past 12 months. In the past 12 months, we took a trip throughout Europe, we went to Thailand, and we went to Hawaii, and we have an upcoming trip to Singapore in about a week.
Every one of these trips, we didn't pay for our flights or our hotels because we used travel hacked miles.
We did a whole video on travel hacking, but we added up all the costs that we saved with travel hacking over the past year, and it's been more than $20,000.
Now, we normally wouldn't travel this much if it cost us $20,000 a year. I think on average, we would travel maybe once a year, and at the most, we wouldn't want to spend more than $5,000 on a trip. But with travel hacking, just the idea of paying for another vacation, it just seems out of the question at this point, because we figured out how to travel hack our way to vacations.
The second thing that we never spend money on is storage. So a lot of Americans pay for storage units. They have too much stuff, so they pack it away in storage and they rarely ever actually use the things, or sometimes they forget what's in their storage unit. So we find this to be sometimes an unnecessary expense, and we never pay for storage.
Yeah, if you look at our house, we have a minimal amount of things in it. And so we never get to that point where we feel so overwhelmed that we feel like we need more space or we need to buy a storage unit of some sort. We always try to keep control of the amount of space we have by minimizing what we have in it.
The average cost for a storage unit in the United States is a little over $90, so we save $90 a month just by not needing a storage unit.
So next is cable TV. Now, people are still paying for cable TV. And at this point, with internet, with Netflix, with all the other technology that's out there, it still surprises me that people are actually paying for cable TV. You can get most of that information online for free.
The average monthly cost for cable is $100. So by saving $100 a month, that adds up to $1,200 a year.
That's a lot of money. So the fourth thing are new cars. Now, we'll admit, we didn't always buy used cars. In fact, we bought a lot of new cars, and that was probably our biggest financial mistake, because the cost of a new car compared to a used car is astronomical.
Now, our used car cost only $2,000. We also pay insurance on our car at $300 a year, and we estimate about $800 a year in maintenance also. With a used car, over the course of 5 years, our cost is equal to about $7,500. If you look at this chart, you'll see that a 2-door hatchback over a period of 5 years is going to cost about $28,000. If you break down the cost of a brand new car versus the cost of our used car, we save about $4,100 a year. The fifth category of things that we save money on by not purchasing them are watches, jewelry, and purses.
Yeah, this is a large expense for a lot of people, actually. I mean, if you notice, we don't wear any jewelry. We actually don't even wear our wedding rings, but we are married. But it's just kind of all of that extra swag that we have just found unnecessary. So we figured that if we did buy these things, Christina would probably spend about $1,000 on a fly purse. We would each have Apple Watches at about $329. That's the starting price for the Apple Watch. And the average American family spends about $1,300 a year on jewelry. So we figured that we're saving about $2,600 a year by not buying these things. Number 6 is rental car insurance. I hate going to the rental car counter and being surprised by these people that say, you need to get the insurance. Now, when we first started traveling, I always fell for this trick. But the more research I did, talking to my insurance company, talking to my credit card company, I found that I already had the coverage. So why would I buy the coverage from the insurance car company?
And what he means by this is a lot of times when you have a credit card and you purchase a rental car with your credit card covers your rental car insurance. So there's no need to buy extra insurance.
Rental car insurance can start at about $15 and go up as high as $30 a day. So let's just use $20 a day. $20 a day over a 2-week period is about $280 just for rental car insurance. That's not even for the rental car. Over the span of a year, we figure we save about $280 a year.
The 7th thing that we don't buy a lot of is clothes. Now, of course, we buy clothes, but we don't buy a lot of it. We focus on minimalism when we're purchasing clothes.
Yeah, I have this shirt that I went back and looked through my Facebook, and probably over the past 6 years, I have a lot of Facebook pictures with this particular shirt. It's kind of, for me, it's a point of pride.
And I will say, you know, our girls grow frequently, so they require more clothing, but we really do try to focus on minimalism with our girls too.
Number 8 are books, magazines, and tools. And you're probably like, what is he talking about, tools? Well, these are all things that we've been able to borrow from the local library. When we lived in Oakland, for example, we did a lot of home renovations. And during that period, we never actually bought a lot of those tools. Of course, we had hammers and screwdrivers, the basic tools, but the very large and expensive tools, we could borrow them from the local tool lending library. I mean, this is a huge savings. So when you take into account the tools and the books and the magazines that we're able to get from the library, we figured we save about $500 a year just in that cost.
And the last thing we don't really buy a lot of are toys. We have 2 young girls, and of course with kids, you're always wanting to buy things for your kids, I think, but we also focus, like we said, on minimalism. So that goes with clothes, that goes with furniture in our house, and that also goes with toys. We do not buy a lot of toys for our girls.
Let me give you an example with toys. Now, Christmas is a time when kids get a lot of toys. And you can look under Christmas trees and you can see, 10, 20, 30 toys, just sometimes for one kid. Now, to me, that's too many toys for a kid, because in reality, they're only gonna play with maybe 1 or 2, maybe 3 of those toys and really enjoy them. So why give a kid that many toys? It's a real waste of money.
When we look at the holidays like Christmas and birthdays, we figure that we save between the 2 girls about $600 by not being excessive in our purchases of toys for our girls. By avoiding purchasing these things that we talked about, we actually save $31,450 a year. Now, maybe some of these things you can avoid purchasing and save money as well, or maybe there's other ideas of places where you can cut to save money, but we hope this sort of gives you an idea of things to look at that you can possibly cut. So if you like this video, please make sure to give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and join the journey.